Hey everybody. So we're gonna start reading chapter one. I'll have to break it down into live sections and then re-upload it or whatever, but we gonna break it down. Chapter one. Disc one on the come up. Chapter one. Excuse me, miss. Cause we ain't nobody, Latoya said. Lakeisha turned from peering out the window of the Chesterfield Hotel, annoyed because her question, why they got us staying in this bum-ass hotel, had been a rhetorical one. There was no view, just another hotel across 37th Street, and from what little she could see, the rooms over there were nicer. I know, Keisha said, but still, we didn't even get a limo from the airport. We didn't need a limo, Nini said, busily straightening up. They sent a car and it was fine. Why are you cleaning up Kenny's room? Keisha said, stretching out the perfectly made bed. Because I already finished with ours, Mimi said. I can't just sit around, doing nothing, waiting for the phone to ring. It's driving me crazy. They were sharing the adjoining room, but they were camped out here because their manager, Kenny Hill, would get the call at the hotel since their cell phone service had been interrupted for non-payment. Says his cell phone service had interrupted for non-payment, and they wanted to be there when he did get the call. Let's eat, Keisha said. That'll give us something to do. She picked up the room service menu. We can order food, right? She frowned on Red Toya. They pay for that? Last night, after their audition at the Triple Large offices, they had gone to Planet Hollywood for dinner, hoping to spot some celebrities, unaware that it was a tourist trap populated by autograph. I don't know, Toya said wearily. Keisha was always looking for a free meal, literally and figuratively. Am I still alive? I don't know, Toya said wearily. Keisha was always looking for a free meal, literally and figuratively, and it got under Toya's skin she was so simple-minded. You need to ask Kenny. Where's he at anyway, Keisha said. She twirled around one of her long micro braids. It don't take that long to buy a pack of Newports. Mimi didn't care about the low-budget accommodations, or that there had been no limo yesterday. Sorry, y'all, my phone rang and it distracted me. Oh, where's he at anyway, Keisha said. She twirled one of her long micro braids. It don't take that long to buy a pack of Newports. Mimi didn't care about the low-budget accommodations, or that there had not been no limo yesterday. Keisha thought this whole trip was going to be like an episode of Making the Band. She was obsessed with that show. Kenny did nothing to dissuade her from thinking it was going to be like going to be limos, parades, and parties and Cristal bottles popping. But why on earth would anyone do that for them? They were nobodies. But they had come here to change that. They all met at Performing Arts School of Toledo. They joked that they were like TLC, whose Crazy Sexy Cool album was one of their all-time favorites. Keisha, big boned and equipped with a razor-sharp tongue, was the crazy component. Toya, a round-faced girl with a heartwarming smile and a degree of self-assurance that bellied her years, was the cool. And Mimi, well, she wasn't wild like Keisha, and she didn't possess Toya's innate confidence. So sometimes she felt like she got the sexy by default. No doubt Mimi was pretty. Since she was a baby, everyone remarked on it. But in her usual baggy pants, sexy she was not. Tight jeans and mid-already stood out enough. All she ever wanted was to blend in. Her mother, Angela, was Italian, and Mimi couldn't remember her Haitian father, Jacques Barant, had run on Angela a year after their only child was born, and the annual birthday cards that had arrived late with no return address stopped arriving all together after Mimi's 8th birthday. She kept the details of her home life to herself as she did most things, managing to pull straight A's while dodging the taunts of white girl and high yellow heifer as if she thought she was better than the other girls. Just like many of them, she was raised by an overworked single mother. She rode the bus to school from the bad side of town, and the clothes over which they had ran a disapproving "you think you cute" eye were paid for by the after-school issue they did. Toya, however, was different. She made that clear only 2 months into freshman year when Michelle Griffin had stormed over to Mimi in the cafeteria and began to lay into her for her coming onto her boyfriend, even though it had been Michelle's wannabe teenage Lothario who had been coming out onto her as she was completely uninterested. Toya, who Mimi knew only casually, had calmly looked over her shoulder from the next table and said, "You just mad because you wish you had that long hair. Go get yourself a weave and shut the hell up." Keisha, always spoiling for a fight of any kind, had jumped up to enter the fray, but Michelle had slunk away before she could. Toya, Keisha, and Mimi had been best friends ever since. Later that year, their group had formed. They named it Heart Song. They debated endlessly about what kinds of songs they should sing, what kind of group they wanted to be. Keisha and Toya were into hip-hop. Mimi's taste fell more on the soul side. She idolized those female artists whose songs stirred something inside her more than an urge to dance. Her mother had harbored dreams of being a singer way back when, and music was the only constant in their unstable lives. From Aretha, Alanis Morissette, Sarah Vaughan, or Sarah McLachlan, Mimi would close her eyes and try to mimic their every inflection, pretending she was them, not a girl from Toledo who wouldn't recognize her father if she passed him on the street. That was how she got through performing on stage. She became someone else, whoever song she was belting out. She was pretending to be Beyonce on the night that she met Kenny at a local talent show. Heart Song had just won the top prize and $300 for their rousing rendition of Bills, Bills, Bills by Destiny Child. A lanky, dark-skinned man of 34 with droopy eyes and a seemingly permanent deposit of white crust in the corner of his mouth, Kenny Hill's name was one they recognized from the flyers posted all over town. A part-time club promoter, he told them he knew every musician, nightclub owner, and DJ in Toledo, which in retrospect they realized wasn't saying all that too much. He proffered a business card that simply read "Talent Manager," and they didn't know to ask for any credentials beyond the promises he made. He talked about getting them a record deal, and he didn't ask them for any money. And so it was that Kenny Hill became their manager. He had arranged for them to sing backup on demos at Wildside Studios in exchange for free studio time to record their own music. He kept telling them that he was setting up auditions with labels, but nothing ever panned out. And they graduated high school 2 years ago. The day after they tossed their caps, Mimi's part-time job at the discount emporium Save Mart became full-time. Toya was doing hair at Black Roots without a license, and Keisha wasn't doing much of anything except hanging out with her crazy-ass drug dealer boyfriend. They finished their demo using tracks that Kenny bought from a local producer and singing generic R&B lyrics that Kenny had written himself. Kenny Hill, club promoter, talent manager, songwriter, jack of all trades, and master of none,